What's up, guys and gals? It's your host of the most Griever, as always, bringing you guys the latest chapter review for Kengan Omega. Kengan Omega, very late review. Apologize for chapter 221, entitled Head On Battle. Now, of course, there are two great things in this chapter. Two. Count them. 1, 2. And what are they? Well, Jackie Lee is always a fan favorite. Jackie Lee is here just watching the Kengan matches and being amazing, right? And the fact of the matter is, Oma is back in the ring against nobody guessed this. If you say you guessed this, you're a liar, unless you have like some proof that's not edited. At this day and age, everybody photoshops everything anyway, so I wouldn't believe it even if I did. He's fighting against Kyozan, the sumo wrestler, of course, of the previous series. Now, the fight's just started, and for the most part, it's a simple, alright, he's going to do his sumo tackle, that classic huge tackle that he does, and boom, try to take Oma, and almost like, hence the chapter title, Head On Battle, baby! Boom! And grabs him, and it's just like, oh, and he gets pushed, and he's pushed, and he's pushed, but then, hey, Kyozan, I'm gonna fight you in your world now, and this is some Asura Oma. See, a lot of people have complained that Tokita Oma coming back from the dead was a problem. Though a lot of the fan base, and myself included, do not care. We just love the fact that our Asura is back. It doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to be well written to make sense. It just there was a lot. There's a lot of argument for should Oma be alive or not, right? But I'm okay with it. I don't think it was necessarily great idea. I think Asura was sort of tied up in a neat little bow for the most part. Had they not, you could have tied up Asura, in all honesty, if you had gotten rid of some key scenes to leave the cliffhangers, like, you know, Eddie and stuff like that. And you could have said that's the end of the story. And it was beautiful, because it was a beautiful ending. And a lot of people are saying by bringing Oma back, it sours that ending. I don't disagree with that. But if I'm going to continue to read Kengan without Oma, I'm not going to have a very good time. And this is a chapter to remind us, because he's acting a little bit more like Asura Oma. Because, as I said, since he's come back, a lot of people have said he's much more, what's the word, melancholy, I guess? A little more complacent, a little less him. He's too mature, is what a lot of people are saying. Granted, people are forgetting a little thing called character development, where between Yamagohan dying and coming back to life, the entire Cat tournament, and the couple of years living with the Cure clan, have sort of matured him and humbled him. Remember, it's been a few years now. He's an older man. At the time when we first met him, I forget what age he was, but he was a young man. Now, he's not middle-aged by any stretch, but it's been more than half a decade since we were first introduced to him. It naturally progresses that he would be a little more humble, a little more sure of himself, less cocky, less volatile, less, you know, I don't know, explosive in that regard. But here I think we are getting a little bit of that Asura, the things that still you don't beat out of a fighter. He's still acting like a bit of a fighter. Speaking of which, once again, this whole chapter comes about, the second bout is coming about because Koga beat the monk. The problem with this is that the Kengan matches are still now reduced to really this. We are reduced to UFC fights with referees and like they always had referees, but like the rules set and that. All right, he's down and a fight. It's basically underground UFC, and that's not what Kengan's all about. I have a big issue with this. Like the Monk was not down and out, you know, and so I don't know how this fight is gonna go, or the main match, who is Agito, or main match with Agito. Maybe it's Wakatsuki. We see him in this chapter. Maybe Agito is finally, maybe Wakatsuki is finally going to get his rematch against Agito. That would be huge. That would be a main event. So, what I'm suggesting here is that this chapter is good on its own merits. It's good on its own merits, especially since we get Joe and Jackie doing their thing. We are soul brothers. We are beer brothers and stuff like that. It's like, hell yeah. So yeah, they're beer brothers and stuff like that. They're eating good food. It's like, and Wakatsuki says, I hope Joe hasn't been there. Very formal and like, hello, my name is Wakatsuki. I'm a fighter. Oh, I'm Jackie. I'm a friend of Joji's here. And it's like, well, I hope he hasn't been giving you too much trouble. It's like, none at all. He's shown me so many fine liquors and good food, you know. And he's like, we are beer brothers, my man. So I really hope that the reveal that he's the connector to the Kengan Association stuff doesn't happen for a long time. I think some of the best stuff that's come out of the last year or so of Kengan has been the Jackie Lee. The Shen acting as Jackie and just having a good time has been, yeah, has been some of the funnest. It's just fun to watch, you know? Sort of like, you know, like we're watching an action series, but once in a while, don't you like to sit down and watch an episode of Friends? You know, nobody's punching each other in that show, but it's just fun to watch. Oh, there's Joey and Chandler talking about girls or something like that, or you know, or that 70s show with the, I know I'm dating myself here, but that 70s show where they find the keg and it's all about let's throw a party because we got free beer, right? That's fun. That's also entertaining to see, to watch, and in my opinion, it's some of the best stuff. So I've just really been enjoying in this chapter. I enjoyed all that interaction. Oma going into the head-on battle is fantastic. As I said, my only problem sort of stems from, or bleeds in from last chapter, is the fact that Kengan matches are not Kengan matches anymore. They're not as bloody, they're not as fought. They're basically, we're reading a manga of UFC fighters that aren't UFC fighters at this point. And that's sort of not as interesting, not as entertaining. If nobody's gonna die, you know, the movie Damage with Stone Cold Austin, you know, with Stone Cold, that's a similar idea to the Kengan match. It's like, no, the bosses decide when he's had enough. It's like, you keep punching him, you're giving a guy brain damage. It's like, no, don't let up. He hasn't given up, don't let up. You gotta keep, boom, boom, boom. You gotta keep doing it, right? So, yeah. Either way, I liked the chapter. What did you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section down below, as always. Yeah, the Jackie Lee stuff is always going to be a fan favorite, or my favorite part of any chapter. But Oma coming in, giving some actual hard, like, let's go, it's time. I'd like to think it's Wakatsuki up against Agito for his revenge match, his Griever match, if you will. His Griever match, his grudge match, but no, at the point, the fact that he's sitting in the crowd and not prepping, you know, listening to music and doing his stuff or whatever, no, I don't think so. I think it's somebody else. Maybe Lolong, we'll have to see, Roland, Lolong, whatever. I'm not sure, because Kyozan threw everybody for a loop in this chapter, so, yeah. Anyways, that's it from me once again. Very heavy apologies for this being so late, guys. All the videos this week are extremely late, and that's probably not going to change into next week. I am just too swamped, too busy, both with work and real life, so I apologize for that, but I'm going to apologize for every video until I'm back to scratch. So, that being said, I may be wrong, but I doubt it. Thanks, guys, for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys back here next time. That's it from me. Go Kengan. Go Oma. Oma's going to win. Sayonara, everybody. Bye-bye.